When it comes to horses, communication, consent, or confidence? I want you to pop that into the chat box. There's no right or wrong answer here. I'm just curious, what's more important to you? Communication, consent, or confidence? So we've got some answers coming in here. I'm probably not going to have a lot of time to read everyone's out, but I love seeing it. Also, make sure you've got a pen and paper. There's definitely going to be some stuff to write down. The webinar's a little bit of a different format this time, so I want you to have a pen and paper to write it down. So some of you might know who I am and seen some of my previous webinars. I know some of my mentorship students are here, people that have been in previous classes with me. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrea Wady. For 15 years now, I've been helping people understand their horses better, to form a better relationship with their horse, and to be able to train them using compassion and empathy rather than fear and intimidation. So I feel like I have the best job in the world. It's so rewarding. But I wanted to say that whatever you've got going on with your horse, whether how hard it seems at the moment, it doesn't matter whether they are challenging you, whether you feel fearful, whether you feel fine, you're just here to learn something new, you're all welcome. It's really important that you know that. So I've been with horses my whole life. And trust me, I've made so many mistakes. I've made massive mistakes, lots of little mistakes, ones that hurt. So whatever brings you here today, maybe you've trained in a way that doesn't make you feel good. Maybe you've got a horse in your life that you think, what was I thinking? I think we've all done that at some point. Or maybe you're new to horses. If you are, I'm thrilled because I can save you a lot of searching around trying to find answers. You're going to find some really good things in this webinar that you can put into action today. And you're going to learn about principles that you can apply to your own training today. So I'm seeing here we've got lots of communication, some confidence, consent to communication. I love that one, Lara. That's brilliant. Yeah, Lauren, all three are connected indeed. So I want to get started with, what are my core beliefs when it comes to horses? The first one might be a bit controversial. People sometimes have a hard time with this one, but I'm going to put it out there anyway because it's what I believe. Bad behavior isn't bad. We might not like it. We might not want it. It might be dangerous, but it's not bad. What it is feedback. That is your horse trying to communicate with you, not in a way that we want. And we're going to hope to turn that around, but it's not bad. Stop labeling it as bad because that puts the blame on the horse. Okay? The horses, they never asked for any of this. They never asked to be domesticated. So if we can see this as feedback, then we can make changes that make life better for all of us. So that's my number one. And feedback, when it is behavior that's challenging, it's just a glimpse into what the horse is actually feeling. Maybe it's pain, maybe it's fear, lack of understanding, physical inability, lack of confidence. I mean, the list goes on. Maybe they're just not understanding us. Maybe we think we're telling them what to do, but maybe our body language is not telling them that. So they're confused. So that's one of my first ones. Second one, no is not defiance, it's information. So a little bit but like bad behavior or labeled bad behavior, it's information. So let's try trading curiosity instead of dominance, ethical pressure instead of, dominance, awful dominance, and speed. Let's change that for taking a deep breath, calming ourselves down and thinking, what do I do next, instead of just reacting. So one thing I want you to know, this approach does not mean that you have to give up on your goals or your dreams. It doesn't mean you have to quit riding. That's a common thing. Oh, well, then I can't ride. If I allow my horse to say, no, I can't ride. Yes, you can. But imagine how good it feels when you're doing it with a horse that really wants to, that's giving you an easy yes, green lights all the way. Just imagine how great that can feel. And even the most challenging behavior, many times, it's just a breakdown in communication. And if we can stop, look at it together and figure out what is going on, nearly always there's a way through it where the horse gets to keep his dignity and you start to sleep at night again and have fun. So here's what we're going to talk about today: communication. So noticing small signals before they burst into bigger things, what's labeled as bad behavior. Consent. So true communication, a clear yes, a safe maybe, and a respected no. That's then reframed. We reframe the question to get an easy yes for the horse. Because believe me, horses, I really believe this, they want to harmonize with us. They want to feel safe with us. They want to be trustworthy. They do not like feeling completely off kilter in their emotions. And when you watch them in the field, it's often it's a still pond. You might have the odd little spat, but for the most time, the horses are moving. As long as they've got friends, forage, freedom, they're moving in a quiet peace. We can find that between us and the horses. It's really important to know, it doesn't matter what you've done or what's going on. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and I really want to help you find it. So as my husband says, and I love this quote from him, what we don't do for the horses, we do to the horses. And I think a lot of traditional training may have fallen into that camp. And that's okay, because we do what we do until we know differently, and then we can do it different. So keeping an open mind and an open heart as we go through this. Maybe not all of it resonates with you. Maybe it does, or maybe you'll just take one or two good take homes. So grab a pen and paper. We're going to dive in, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I focus on in training horses. So let me just start the sharing process. Lovely to see where you're all coming in from. Hawaii, Arizona, Texas, people from all over. I love it. Okay, let me just share this for you. This is the bit that always makes my heart pound because I'm not very techy. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. So here we go. Confidence, consent, and communication. Okay, so the first one, why this matters. If we approach training without first understanding communication, consent, and confidence, what are we relying on? Put some of your comments into the chat box. What do we rely on if we're not using communication, consent, and confidence? Well, we would be using a heck of a lot of pressure, dominance. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. These are observations. Fear and intimidation. That doesn't align with my personal values. So communication, consent, and confidence, so important. And you need to think yourself, whatever it is that you're doing with your horse, does it align with your values? And if it doesn't, it's time to change it, because your heart and soul is never going to feel comfortable if you're training your horse in a way that does not align with your values. And that can come for like advocating for your horse. If you have a trainer and you're watching what they're doing and you think, this can't be right. You know what? If you think that, it probably isn't. So yeah, it's a difficult situation, but things have to align with our values. So the first one, communication. So I've put up some of my favorite pictures here, and some of the horses who taught me the most I've ever learned in my life with the horses in these pictures. So this horse was called Moro, and he was a horse I rescued in Costa Rica, and he was the smartest horse I've ever worked with, I think. And his thing was, if you get on me, I'm just going to lie down. And he'd learnt to do that. So I got him incredibly cheap. And I had to reframe the entire way that I worked with horses to be able to reach this horse's mind. And boy, did he teach me a lot. And the thing he taught me is you can't make. You can't make. So communication, how do we get it? Clarity, being clear, being centered in our body and able to project through our body language what it is that we want with our horse. The more you can use your body, the less you have to use your tools. It's a great way of communicating with the horse, and they understand it as long as you're clear. So clarity is really, really important. The second is timing. We all use pressure with horses. Anyone who says, I do not use pressure with horses, they either don't understand it, maybe, or they think they're not using pressure. Our eyeballs are pressure. Turning and staring at a horse, that's pressure. Going like that with our hands at liberty, hey, can you stop? That's pressure. Asking a horse with a stick and string really gently, just so that the string swings way out behind the horse to make some energy, that's still pressure. So the timing piece that's important is, when do we stop with what we're asking? If we go like this and the horse stops, the second you take your hands away, your horse knows he's done the right thing. That's good timing. Poor timing can create a miscommunication or a disconnection. So making sure that your timing is as good as it can be and practicing always to get it better and better is a key piece. Feel. Oh, that's a big one. And people go, well, what is feel? Feel is knowing what your horse needs in that moment. So if you have a really flighty horse who's worried and nervous, and he's walking towards you at liberty and you need him to stop, and you go, whoa, he's liable to spin and be gone. So you didn't quite have the feel to realize that all he needs is, and he will stop. Whereas you might have another horse, a bit like Morrow was when he first came, who's like, you're not stopping me. And you might need to be a little bit more present in your body at that point. That's feel. Consistency is keeping your clarity, timing, and feel as good as it can be every time you train with your horse. And what I'm going to bring in here is how there is now so much information in the world with horses, between YouTube, online courses, trainers that you're working with, Instagram. There's so many messages out there of what to do. And I'm seeing students bounce around day to day trying something different. That is so hard for the horses. So find a framework that works for you and use it consistently to help your horse understand and learn, and you both progress without bouncing around all over the place. So probably the most important one is knowing when to quit. And usually it's sooner rather than later. So can you recognize those little tries that the horse is giving you and go, hey, that was it. That was all I wanted. That just makes them want to do it again, especially if you know how to reward them. So reward, it's not necessarily treats. It's probably not rubbing or slapping. It might just be standing still and quiet. It might be scratching their itchy spots. So whenever or whatever you're doing with your horse, you need to know, are you spending money out of the emotional bank, or are you banking it? So perhaps if you're asking your horse to learn something new and you've not chunked it down enough, and they're struggling a little bit with understanding, you're for sure spending money. So you need to know that you have lots and lots in the bank. That's why we spend a lot of undemanding time with horses, scratching, watching them, taking them for grazing walks, so that you are banking all this emotional credit so you can spend some when you're learning. But the good thing is, when you chunk things down enough and just do little steps and reward, you might still be banking, because horses that love solving puzzles, that's a fun thing to do. So the second one, consent, big one. And now this is one that gets people quite ruffled feathers. They say, oh, if I ask my horse, I want a yes answer. Well, we all do. We would all like a yes answer. But I also want a relationship that's a two-way street. I want my horse to have a say, an opinion, but I want one as well. So let's look at this. Can you recognize green lights in your horse? In the chat box now, just write down some things that you think, what's a green light that a horse might be saying, yes, I'm up for this, I want to do this. Just write some stuff down in the chat box of something that might come to mind. Amber, a maybe. Maybe I'm okay with this. I'm not sure if I am. Maybe I can do it, but I'm just not sure. Okay, think of some amber light signs that the horse might give you. We're going to go through them shortly, but just write down anything that you can think at the moment that would be an amber light signal from a horse. So, you know, when I say green light, amber light, green, yes, the horse is saying yes. Amber light, they're saying maybe. Red light, it's a no. It's an out and out no. So what are some red lights? They can be subtle or they can be really big. Okay, so just pop some things in the chat box that you think might be a green yes, amber maybe, or a red no. So we're going to look at this. I'm going to have to just take some water. I've noticed that my camera for some reason is not showing me, but just know I'm here anyway. So reading consent in real time. What does consent look like? What does no look like? What does maybe look like? And what does yes look like? So this horse here, he's called Atlantis. He's a young horse that I'm working with at the moment. And this was a definite yes from him. We were working on head down on the circle at Liberty, and he was owning this. He was really confident. That was one of my favorite pictures because I felt that day, yes, I'd really reached the mind of that horse and he was enjoying himself. So that was a win that we banked together. So green lights, again, this is Atlantis. He loves to say yes. He's up for anything. So yes, I'm okay to continue. We can get maybe, and this is not a definitive list. There's many, many, many more. Soft eye. So not a hard, fixed eye, a regular, relaxed, blinking eye. Ears, neutral or softly flicking to you. Also, if they're super interested, they may have their ears forward on you. Sometimes, because all signals can mean different things in different contexts and looking at the horse as a whole. But if they're kind of looking at me with their ears up and they're looking keen, that to me is a yes. So ears neutral, softly flicking to you, then back to the task. The jaw and muzzle soft, lower lip relaxed, mouth quiet. Now, sometimes when horses are concentrating, their mouth can get a little bit tense. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Head height, this is always a fairly good indication. So if the neck is level, I always think about the poll sort of level with the withers is a good sign. And a soft poll, not locked tight, jaw clamped. So weight nicely balanced or even leaning slightly forward, offering a step towards you. And if you're riding, it's a horse that's keen to just walk out in a balanced self-carriage way, not leaning against the reins because they want to go too fast, not dragging behind the leg. Regular breathing, you can often feel that through your leg on the saddle, or maybe you can see the breaths if you're working on line. They're not holding their breath. And muscles is a big one. If they're really braced and in tension, you can see that. You can see the engagement of the muscles. I like the word buttery, if they look buttery. Another one of my mentors used to say, if it feels like a bag of water, a firm bag of water that you could wobble a little bit. So the steps feel even and rhythmic if you're riding, or even if you're working on the ground. And if they turn towards the task, they're investigating, sniffing, touching. They're all yeses. So Amber, now this picture cracks me up. This was probably about my third or fourth ride on Branner, my personal horse. And it was the first time I'd ridden her out in an open field. So she doesn't have an amber look on her face. I do. So this always makes me chuckle because the cameraman was going, do you want to canter up towards the camera? And I'm looking at him like, do you want to canter the horse? Because I'm not cantering in an open field for the first time ever on her. So it was me that was doing a maybe not yet, and it went into a no. So it's not always the horse. So low-level calming signals, those of you who've been on webinars with me before, pop in the chat box. What calming signals might we see for an amber? You might see a little bit of turning the showing flank, turning towards you a little bit. There's many different calming signals that I can see people are popping into the chat box now. It might be that they will touch their foreleg, that they are wanting to leave. That's a big one. So little micro freezes, breath holding, where the horse just gets a little bit frozen. They may lift their head a little bit higher. Their breathing might get a little bit faster. Subtly leaning away, a little half step away. Now, we often are very quick to close our hands when things like this happen, or put our leg on. We override that feedback that they're giving to us, and then we wonder why it all went wrong. They are trying to tell you right now that something isn't right, something is not feeling good. They might not understand. They might smell something, see something, hear something, feel something that you don't. Don't ignore these signs. It's all feedback. So muscle tone firms up. The tail can sometimes get a bit clamped, or swishing might be starting. Lips tighten, nostrils narrow. Chewing slows or stops. Ever seen that, where the horse's head comes up and they just freeze in their mouth? You're like, uh-oh, what's changed? And for some horses, they might really start to speed up. Some horses, they will start to slow. Everything goes into slow motion and we just want to put our leg on. Now, sometimes, yes, the horse might be feeling the heat. The horse might have done what my horse did last night, broke the fence, got in, ate too much, was really sluggish this morning. You have to look at everything as a whole picture. What is the rest of the body telling you? Okay, are you getting a maybe or a not yet? So a no. This picture, big learning opportunity for me. Branner is giving us amber signals here, but they went red really quickly. This was before I'd backed her, and I was putting my arm over her back. I was tired. I actually look at it in that picture. And I wasn't reading her properly. And I got a kick. She didn't kick me. She's never kicked me, but she warned. She was like, you are not listening. So a no. Stepping away, backing up, swinging the shoulders and the hips out. A strong head toss, neck snaking, rooting on the rope to try and reef and pull away from you. Pinned ears, hard tails, swishing, ringing. When they're angry, the tail will really ring. Stomping, striking, kick threats, or kicking. You could put in there rearing. I've worked with many horses, some that are in the mentorship that I run right now, that started off rearing at people. It's just information. It's feedback. No, we don't want it. Of course we don't want it. But did we trigger it? Maybe. And maybe we didn't, but somebody else did. They're just trying to defend themselves. So vocal protest, it's very rare, but when you hear it, pay attention to that. Fleeing, bracing in place. Fight, flight, or freeze. That's how horses control their world. And our goal as trainers is not to push them into that. Yes, there's fidget, fall around, but the real three ones that you need to be careful of in the no zone is your fight, flight, or freeze. So Those are our red signs, big ones. If you've got to red, you've missed signs. It's okay, but don't miss those ones, or you're going to possibly get into trouble. 3, confidence. Here go me and Morrow down the beach. One of the rides of my life. This was the horse that if you got on, he used to just lie down, and he found joy in riding again, and he was awesome. So we were going down the beach in Costa Rica, hells for bells, having a lot of fun. So confidence in you. I'm not saying I would do that now. Not on a horse I didn't know, but with him, it was a huge amount of fun. So I want to ask you now, and be honest with yourselves. You don't have to put this in the chat box. You can just write it down, or indeed put it into the chat box. Confidence in you. Do you have clarity and calmness when you work with your horse? Do you trust in your skills? Are you emotionally fit? That can really rock your confidence. If the horse does something, you take it very personally, and I get it. When we do that, it's usually because it's triggered maybe a fear in us, or some old training that we had where it's like, I must not let this horse get away with whatever it is that they're trying to tell us. If you react in a very emotional way, anger or fear, violence, I've seen it. That's going to really undermine your confidence. Or maybe you just don't feel that you know enough. You maybe don't have a lot of self-confidence. Maybe you have a trainer that always tells you, no, you can't do that. I have to do that. And that's a really big one. And I'm going to tell you now, in this industry, there's a lot of people that don't want you to know that most likely you are plenty good enough with the right guidance and the right understanding to train your own horse. I have had hundreds and hundreds of students come through who were like, I'm never going to be able to train my horse. Yes, they are. And they're doing it. They can, and they are great trainers. So don't underestimate yourself. But that can really rock your confidence. So just give yourself a mark out of 10, how things stand today, of what you feel your confidence level is at. And now to your horse. Are they confident in themselves? Are they confident in you, in your choices? Do you have that clarity, consistency, good communication? Are you getting their consent? Or are you overriding them, overpowering them, not giving them time to think, not giving them any reward time, not letting them ask questions, ignoring the amber light that's going, I can't cope with this? Are you pushing them into fight, flight, and freeze? Or are they new to you? They're new to the environment. They don't know where they are. They're just meeting their new herd mates. You're new to them. What's their level of confidence right now? Out of 10. And maybe you're at 10. That's awesome if you are. And maybe you're at 1. And you're not going to be alone in that, I'll guarantee it. And it can be things like a fall can rattle your confidence. It might be a horse. Remember, we talked about the have you bought a horse where you're thinking, oh my goodness, what have I done? I get a lot of students come to me for that. Or maybe you are just starting out and you don't know how to get a horse to be confident with you. So, how do we build confidence without dominance? The first is we seek to understand. Understand your horse. That is absolutely vital. Every single horse is different. And you ask yourself, what is the goal here? Do you want to just have a horse that's safe to trail ride? Great, awesome. Maybe you want to show, maybe you've got bigger goals, whatever it is okay. You might just want to work at liberty with your horse. Awesome. I've had plenty of horses that were just with me for liberty. I love it. You can see me here. This was Zeus, my horse Zeus. Those of you who have read my book, you will know Zeus, or you've seen the film where I walked across Costa Rica with some friends and horses, and he was my partner. And this horse taught me more I think, than any horse about building confidence in ourselves and in the horse, and building trust between each other. So you ask yourself, what is the goal here? And then you need to break it down. So if you want to find confidence, let's say in canter, or you want to find confidence in liberty with your horse, it doesn't matter. Think of any goal. The key is to break it down into as many pieces as you possibly can. And you can write all those pieces down step by step by step. And each one, if the horse can get it and you're getting a green light, brilliant. Take that small win, bank it, and give them a reward break, a bit of harmony. Go for a little grass walk, scratch their itches. If you're getting amber lights or red lights, you think to yourself, maybe this task is too big and I'm breaking their confidence. I'm not building it. How can I break this down even smaller and find a piece they do understand? So building confidence. So here's one that you can test at home and put all these things to test. This horse was called Riley, and he was the horse I worked with in one of my online courses, the Pure Liberty course. And he was a very tense horse. What are the signs that we're seeing here that he is giving us some pretty strong amber, if not red lights, about being haltered? What can you see there? So I'll go through them. His ear, furthest away from me. I think both his ears are looking for an escape route. He is at liberty, but still he's trying to stay with me. But I know that I am right up against an amber light here. Look at his nose. Look at the tension and tightness, the pulling down of that top lip. Almost a little smile or a grimace on his lips. His eye was very staring. You can see the white of his eye, the sclera there. More subtle one, he's leaning his weight to the outside leg. This is definitely an amber light. And if I was to push forward now, it would be a red light and he would be spinning away from me. So practice this with your horses at liberty. Present the halter. We can all walk up to a horse and shove the halter on. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about consent here. We are talking about communication, consent, and confidence. So you present the halter and wait. Have the nose piece ready and hold it up to the nose for them to lean towards the halter, maybe sniff it, maybe put their nose into it. If the horse brings the nose, brilliant, green light. Slowly proceed with putting on the halter. Maybe it will turn to amber. And then what do? You back off, take the halter off, step back, give the horse a moment, scan yourself, relax all the tension and all of the anticipation out of your body. And then you will bring it back again and say, how about now? Can you cope with this now? If he steps away, lifts his head up, spooks away, obviously that's a big red light. Why? You have to think, why does he feel like this? Is it causing him discomfort? Does he have a memory that's difficult for him? That was certainly the key with Riley here. He'd been through some really heavy training that had really set him up to fail with humans, and we were reintroducing and creating new associations for him by going really slow and letting him realize that he was having communication. If he started to go, I don't think I can, I went, no problem, let me back off. He didn't leave. He stayed and kept trying. And eventually we were able to get a green light and move forward. So it's something that I love to try with my horses all the time, rather than just taking it for granted they're going to be okay with it. Start to look a little closer. Are they, or is it learned helplessness? Are they just thinking, well, there's no point in giving feedback here because she's not going to listen, he's not going to listen, and I'm going to be overpowered? How about we can do it together? And you will find when horses are allowed to say no, they don't just go, oh, well, that's it then. It's a no. My owner's walking away and I'm walking away. No, no, that's not it at all. We're just going to reframe it. Try again. Try and find more softness in ourselves. Try and slow down a bit. And I find every time they still want to come and work with us. So yeah, it's a big thing, and it's the center point of creating communication, consent, and confidence with your horse, slowing down enough to read the signs, but not being afraid to try again. Don't don't paralyze yourself by thinking, oh no, he said no. Okay, it's okay. Take a deep breath, break it down a bit smaller, go for a little walk if you need to, come back and try again. So I have some more slides. We have a couple more slides that I want to share with you, including a training pledge that we can all make together today. But I just wanted to tell you a little bit about something that I'm doing, and I would love, love to be able to talk to you more about this, because I want to help as many people as possible find a level of togetherness that they might have thought is lost to them, or they feel that they just don't have the knowledge to move forward with training their own horse. Maybe your horse is pushing you around. Maybe they're scared. Maybe you're scared, and that's okay too. Or maybe you feel fine, but you feel like your knowledge is outdated. I get that. I get that. And there's a lot of older training out there about don't let horses get away with it. This is the way it's got to be. Trust me, I've done it. I've done it. And if I could go back and say sorry to every horse, I would. So it's never too late to upgrade your knowledge. Never too late. I have horses in our program that are like 28 years old. And they're learning new things with owners who also are getting up there in years, but they're loving learning something new. Or people that have a new horse that's really they're finding challenging. It's not too late. So whatever you have going on, my passion in life is helping you to create change in a way that's lasting and easy to implement. I'd love to talk with you for like half an hour, one-on-one, just you and me. It's totally free. It's completely free. So before we get going on that, to talk to me for half an hour, it's completely free. I'm offering mentorships to students all around the world, and you can study with me for 8 weeks from the comfort of your own home. We do it all online. It's very in-depth. It's a complete study on you and your horse. You are completely unique. Your journey is completely unique. And I can give you the education that you need so that you can be the partner that your horse deserves, because they really do deserve this. They deserve to be listened to, understood, and for us to know what to do and when to do it. So together we can absolutely turn things around and help your horse find yes answers, easy yes answers that you will feel equipped to ask, because that's the difference. And for the cost of what I used to charge for a 4-day clinic, you can study with me for 8 weeks. It's really in depth and you get a lot out of it. And I want to help you turn things around. It's not too late. It's absolutely not too late. So if this interests you and you want to get on a call with me, we're going to put in the chat box the link where you can book a call. Or you can email me, andrea@andreawady.com. We can just chat about getting on a call. There's no obligation. And if I don't think I can help you, I absolutely will tell you. I hope I'd be a good fit for you, but if I'm not, I would tell you. So you've got nothing to lose. Get on a call with me. If you have a specific behavior that's going on with your horse, we can talk about that too and see if we can find a way straight away in that moment that we can create a little bit of change and get you set on the right track. So click on the link in the chat box when that comes up. And if you want to book a call, great. If you can't find a time that works, then email me or email HorseClass and we will get that sorted for you. So it's never too late to learn. This picture, this picture makes me quite emotional, actually, because it's with Zeus. We were on the journey of a lifetime. And it's where everything that we had built, I'd only known this horse for a few weeks before we took this trek. And I'd only started working with him on the day that we started the trek. That was the whole point of the movie, was to work with them as we were moving. And we got to this bridge and I thought, well, that's it. We're going to have to turn around and go back. And that's when we realized, or I realized with Zeus and the girls with their horses too, that the communication, consent, and confidence, it had worked. And they crossed that bridge with us, which was lethal. It was terrifying. And I would never ask a horse ever again to do that. But we were about 9 days into a trek. There was no way we could go back because what we'd come through, we weren't going to go back through that. So it was the bridge or bust. So off we went, and he trusted me. And off we went across it together. And that humbled me forever, to learn that through slowing down and listening to horses and knowing what to do and when to do it with consistency, with compassion, and with empathy, that horse would trust me enough to cross that bridge with me. Because on day one, he was trying to run me over. So he came a long way. He taught me so much. So together we can turn things around, and I can help you find an easy yes to answer questions with, being equipped to do it, knowing what to do. So let's make a training pledge now, to pay attention to our own relaxation. I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't the most relaxed I've ever been on that bridge, but I did keep scanning my body. I got to the most level of relaxation that I could possibly do when terrified of heights and potentially thinking I might fall off a bridge. But I still did it. I scanned my body. I did the best I could in that moment. And that's all I ask of you guys, is do the best you can in that moment. So paying attention to our own relaxation. We scan the horse before we ask. Are we getting green lights, amber lights, and red lights just by being together? When we start to ask, scan that horse. What are you getting from them? Is it a yes? Is it an easy yes? Is it, oh, I'm not sure, maybe? That's how Zeus was before we stepped on the bridge. Or is it a absolute no? Okay. Work out which one you're dealing with. So no threat, no fear, and no force. If your horse is saying no, don't use fear and intimidation. It's not going to make you feel good. It certainly doesn't align with my values in life. And most of the people that I've ever met through these webinars and students of mine, it doesn't align with theirs either. And the good thing is you don't have to use it. There is a definitive framework that you can use. And it's not about what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. What is your body telling the horse? That's all these things that I can help you with. So a no is information, not defiance. They don't get up in the morning and think, I'm going to do my best just to annoy the hell out of this person. They don't do that. Okay, so no is information, not defiance. And progress is banking small yeses and banking those wins between you and the horse. This horse in this photo was called Pre, who I met at Pennsylvania when I was working at the HorseClass campus. This horse had the softest, loveliest feel because it had been allowed to say no. She had been trained with compassion and empathy, and that is the benchmark for me. Can I work with every horse in front of me using the training pledge, paying attention to my own relaxation, scanning the horse before I ask, no threat, fear, or force? Curiosity, I missed that one. Curiosity over control every time. A curious horse is a horse whose brain is coming alive, whose brain is forming and building. Puzzle solvers, they're the horses that we want, not ones who they don't dare to not be obedient, that we have so much control over that they daren't ask a question. I don't want that in my relationship with my horse. So that's our training pledge. No is information, not defiance. Progress, banking, small yes answers. So That's what we're doing. So if you are ready, we can turn things around together. Everything that you've learned on this webinar today, you can put into action today with your horse. I would love to talk to you though. I'd love to talk to you for half an hour and just see where you're at, where things are for you, and whether I can help you move forward in your journey with your horse. So I have loved presenting all of this stuff. My goodness, there's 87 comments. You guys are awesome. I love it. So, Patrice, would you have stayed at this bridge if it was a no and wait for a green? I did. I absolutely did. We didn't walk straight onto the bridge because the very first thing that he did, he did walk onto the bridge with me. I asked and he said yes. And there was a piece of aluminium on the ground and he put his foot on it on the bridge and it went boom. So we went backwards at speed really, really fast. And I nearly burst into tears and I was really feeling the pressure and the stress because the other horses had already gone across and it was just me. So I just stopped and I put my hand on him and I was really honest with him. I told him I was scared. I felt like he was scared. So we went across it together. It brings tears to my eyes, honestly. Don't ask me that question. So yeah, I did get a red light. It turned green and we went together. So yeah, it was really, really cool. So hopefully you guys have seen the link to book a call with me. If we could maybe just put that back in again there, Catherine, that would be awesome. If you can't find a slot, don't just give up, just message me. I know for some people who are watching this on catch up, you might be in Australia or New Zealand on a different time zone completely. Get in contact with me, Andrea at andreawady.com, and I will get up early or stay up late and we can talk. So it's half an hour. There's no charge for it. But I just really want to talk to you about what's going on with you and your horses and how this program potentially could really help you move forward. But there's no obligation, okay? I'd love to talk to you. So book a call. Let's see if we can get you on the track and get communication, consent, and confidence as a main center in how you're working with your horse. So, guys, thank you so much. I'd love to answer any questions that you have, so feel free to ask any. I'm going to just go back through here and do you think it makes sense to meet with you if we don't have our own horse or a regular horse, but are riding various school horses? Absolutely. I've had lots of people come through the program who are working with school horses. And I tell you, you can become the bright spot of their week. They can see you coming and be like, oh, I love this person. It is incredible how much you can bring to their lives. We all owe so much to school horses. We weren't born being able to ride. And they work hard and they deserve someone that can come and give them a bit of light in their life too. So yes, absolutely. So someone's asking my email, Andrea at andreawady.com. The mentorship is not on my website. Someone's asking about my website. It is not open to just sign up for. You have to talk to me first so that I can make sure that I'm the right fit for you. I don't want to just get someone to sign up and then find out I'm not a good fit for them. It's really important that I work with people who I can really create change for, which I like to think is most of you, but I like to meet you first. So it's not available to just sign up for. We need to meet first and make sure that we would have a great time working together. So yeah, you guys absolutely nailed all of the signals that the horses were making. Eileen says, Aziz continues mystifying me after many years. I know we're connected and bonded, but he's continually angry, bullies herd mates around food, space, and me. Yeah, so there's several things that spring to mind there. So, Eileen, I would always love to talk to you. Anyway, so let's book a call and have a chat. It's a long time since we caught up. Lots of people talking about their confidence level. Yeah, Judith, 1 from a 4. Well done for being honest. That is really, really important. Some of you on 8s and 10s. Guys, it's so great to see how many of you are here. Alison, thank you. Alison recommends the mentorship. She's done it before. Linda, yes, you can see the video in the future. You will all be sent a recording of it, everyone who signed up for it. So those of you that are watching this on catch up, thank you so much for being here. And I really hope that some of this information you can go out and use today with your horses. So stay in contact with me, guys. I want you to go out today. Those of you that have horses, go out and watch them. Watch them in the field, even with their mates. Are they giving green lights, red lights, amber lights? Next time you train with them, what are they telling you? It's been my absolute pleasure to share this information with you today, and I really hope that you found it helpful. It's been fun looking back through those old pictures of horses that have taught me so much, and horses continue to teach me so much. So I would love to share more with you. Book a call, talk to me, let me know what problems you're facing, what issues you've got going on, and it might be easier to fix than you realize. It's often a lot less complicated than we're led to believe. So I'll see you on a call, and maybe I'll see you again in a webinar in the future. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. Take care now. Bye.